It's been a journey that, it seems like it's been a long time ago. Every time you see the scar on her face, it kind of remind her, that what's real important in life.
Scars are a reminder of our past. They are also the sign of strength.
When I was playing volleyball at Yorktown in 8th grade, I had mentioned that this bump was there. I didn't know what it was. I don't remember getting bit by a bug or anything like that.
You wouldn't have really noticed it unless she showed it to you. So I took her into the doctor and he said it didn't look like anything more than maybe a clogged saliva gland or maybe a spider bite or whatever. So let's watch it for a little bit.
14-year-old, you think you're invincible, you don't think anything's going to happen to you. So very nonchalant, let's just get the bump check, see what it is, and move on.
For about 6 weeks to 2 months, we watched it, and it grew pretty quick. So we got her back in, and they still didn't think it was anything. Did a biopsy, said we didn't think there's a problem. We'll just watch it. Well, after the biopsy was done, it really grew.
Following an outpatient surgery at Ball Memorial Hospital, Kati's bump was in fact a benign tumor.
I remember the specific day. I was coming home from practice with my mom, and she had picked me up, and a couple days before that we had been told that it was not a cancerous tumor, it was a benign tumor, just get it removed and we'll be fine. And then she got in the car and she was like, "Kati, I have something to tell you." The second test came back that your tumor was cancerous.
Actinic cell carcinoma is a slow-growing tumor and is a cancer that accounts for less than 1% of all cancers in the United States. Due to the rarity of Kati's cancer, Shelley and Tim took her to the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota.
I missed about 8 to 9 weeks of school and having to live in a hotel for a couple weeks.
Following the surgery on February 13, 2008, doctors noticed something wrong about the placement of Kati's tumor.
They had found that the margins of my tumor had been wrapped around your main nerve in your face. And this main nerve has branches off of it, so they ended up having to snip off one of the branches of my nerve. All that messing with the nerve and the removal of my parotid gland had caused paralysis on the right side of my face. And the doctor had come in and said that he wasn't sure if I was going to get that back. It would just depend on time. I had paralysis for about a couple months and it ended up coming back.
When Kati returned home, she never expected the extent of support she received.
The Munciana team was definitely my biggest support system at the time. When I went to practice, they took me out in the hallway and everybody distributed the shirts, and I was kind of looking around trying to figure out why this was a big deal. And then I left and went home and I was like, "Mom, we got cool shirts today." And she was like, "Kati, they made those shirts for you." That was just the epitome of how the whole thing was for me. It was hard for me to completely understand what people were doing for me, because I didn't want people to feel that they had to put all this effort and energy into me. Just I didn't want to put this on my parents. I didn't want to put it on anyone else.
This past spring, 6 years later, Kati started noticing a change in her body again.
I had felt behind my ear, and there is a tiny bump that's still there, which was a huge red flag. We got an MRI and sent it to Mayo Clinic where I had my surgery. That was a stressful time. I talked to Kelly Miller, who had experienced heart issues while she was in college and playing volleyball, so we had a heart-to-heart.
I have aortic stenosis. The main valve that pumps blood to the rest of your body is narrowed and thickened, so it has to work a lot harder. My heart has to pump a lot harder in order to just get blood to the rest of my body as normal.
She has this passion for the game, and she knows she has a purpose because she overcame something so large, something that I feel like I can relate to her on another level. And then just having her as a coach, everything that I hear from her, that I can take from her, is just another thing to get me through, to try to be the best that I can be.
For her to be so mature about it, for her to be so strong about it, and I think that gave everybody else confidence, and that gave everybody else strength, and that's 100% what I then tried to mimic as well this spring is, you know, it's easy to be scared about something, you know, these are big deals, but you have to have faith. You have to have just your strength with your family, with your friends, with people around you.
Scars are a reminder of our past. And for Kati Vasalakis, this is no ordinary scar.
We've asked her about the scar. She could have that plastic surgery done. She says, no, that's my battle scar. She's thankful she's gone through it. And we look at her now and we are thankful we had the moment, because it does put things in perspective for us.
Rely on your faith and stay strong through all of that, because in those times you have no control over what's going on with you. All you can do is just have the hope. I know that there's a reason why I overcame this and why others had a tougher experience or who didn't make it through. And so I see this as I have a purpose, and if I have the ability to play, I have to play harder than anybody else, because I have to play for those who don't get to play.